Welcome to a very special episode of the Rockstar Changemaking Podcast. I am Sandy Ames, hypnotherapist, and I have my mentor, my friend. How many other labels can I give you? Michele Guzy, my savior. Michele, I am
the coolest person that you know. You forgot that one. Let's start over. Mentor, friend, savior, the coolest person that you know. Okay, keep going.
Take two. Welcome to the Rockstar Changemaking Podcast. Today I've brought the coolest person I know, Michele Guzy.
Hello, my dear. Sandy, you are the coolest person on the planet. So we'll just start with that. How about that?
We're going to get nowhere if we just continue to use our love for each other. Michele is in Los Angeles. I'm in New York City. And Michele, this is a dream I've had for a long time, which is to work with you. So I'm hoping that this is the first of many, many episodes we will have about NLP and some other things that you bring to the table. I'd like to take this live with you at some point, so I'm just putting it out there now. Ooh. Today, we're talking about NLP. What is that?
Neuro-linguistic programming has been around forever. It's just a fancy term that just means how is our brain communicating with ourselves and the world and people around us. So neuro stands for the neurology, your brain, your mind, basically your neural pathways and how they're firing and wiring every single day. And then linguistics, your communication, not only your communication with yourself, but your communication with the outside world, with the environment, with people around you, your communication with your body. And then your programming is your, what I call the model of your world. Your program is literally like a computer. So how does your mind function on a day-to-day basis? And we use NLP every single day with our clients. And it's probably one of the most effective tools that I use in order to install changes in people and rapid changes.
So are you saying, and I know you're not, this is just a question, are you saying that NLP is just for hypnotherapists?
No, NLP is for everybody. We are doing this every single day. We just don't know about it. So when we put a term to it, a fancy term like that, then people think, oh, well, this is just a little bit of a psychology trick or a mentalist trick. But it's literally just something we do every single day. So I have a lot of little techniques. We'll do some, I'll give you some exercises that you can do today, and everybody can take away these exercises and think about where you are right now in your life and where you want to go with this on a personal and professional level.
So Michele, when you're talking and I hear you say something like mentalist tricks or mentalist techniques, I want to click that button and buy that course. I want to know that stuff, right? So who specifically are the people who can benefit from these NLP mentalist tricks that we're about to learn today?
Children can benefit. Adults can benefit. Teachers can benefit. Parents can benefit. You can benefit in your relationship, family members, professionals, managers, lawyers, doctors, literally everybody on the planet, because it is happening all the time. NLP is being used in commercials. NLP is being used in politics. NLP is being used when you are just sitting down at a restaurant and the waiter comes over and asks you, what would you like to eat? And they kind of give you a certain signal of, oh, yeah, the chicken's really good today. So everybody can use it. We have to just break it down to make it really, really simple for people and just say, how do we communicate in such a way that we can build instantaneous rapport with people?
Okay. Instantaneous rapport. Now that's something I can buy.
All it really is communication.
So if somebody came to you, Michele, for hypnotherapy, they have PTSD because an ice cream truck ran over their dog, and for the rest of their lives, they haven't been able to enjoy ice cream from a truck. How would you work with that to rewire, to the rewire? What are you talking about there?
So the positive signal that came in from ice cream changed to what we call a negative. So that neural pathway changed. And so with NLP, what we can do is sometimes it's called breaking state. In hypnosis and NLP, I can bring up that old state. And I can also bring up a new state. What is it that you desire? How would you rather feel? What would you rather think when the ice cream truck comes by? Because I can't get rid of anything. I can desensitize it, but I cannot get rid of a pathway once it's formed. So I can bring up an old state, bring up the anxiety, bring up the stress of that, bring up the sadness, the fear, the anger of that, whatever the emotion is. And we can then change this with a new anchor. And so I would need to know what the anchor is going to be ahead of time. How would you rather feel? What would you rather think? If you'd rather be like, oh, it's actually ice cream, it's good, it feels good. If it's joy instead or happiness instead, then it's what we call kind of squashing that old pathway. Here's the anchor. I can take a positive anchor and then squash that old anchor and bring it back down. The more you try to bring up a negative, the more difficult it's going to be. So we can create a word. And if you want that word to be joy, it could even be rainbow, because I think there's rainbow ice cream. Anytime you say that word rainbow, you could take a deep breath in. You can do something with your hands. And if the negative tries to come up, instantly a new neural pathway is going to form. You know what? It's like you're in New York, so there's subways, there's trains. And when a train is trying to go into Manhattan, but now it needs to divert to Jersey, how does that train go down a different track? It's not so much the conductor, it's not the train itself. The track has to change. So gates have to open up. So NLP allows me to open the gates and change the track, and it can happen very quickly. So if you have a negative emotion, those of you listening, watching, if you had a negative emotion, a negative experience, we bring that up. I can also shift your state neurologically by where your eyes are moving. We use eye accessing cues. Did you know that you literally cannot have a negative thought when you're looking up and smiling? You cannot have a negative emotion when you're looking up and
What's
smiling.
up? Do you mean like up to your third eye?
Looking straight up. So if you keep your chin, okay, so let's do an exercise. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. So everybody, and we can all do this unless you're driving, just keep your head still, just relax your hands, keep your body nice and straight. And just with your eyes, just look down. You can close your eyes if you want to, but just go back to a time, could be any time in your life when you have maybe a negative emotion or a negative experience that was still affecting you right now today. Could be anything, personal, professional, and just bring up that negative emotion, that negative experience. And let's just say our word is going to be rainbow. Okay. And the moment you kind of feel that, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you break that state and shift your neurology. Now, take that negative emotion, keep your head still, open your eyes, take a deep breath in and just look right up at the ceiling and smile. Keep your chin still, keep your chin straight, look straight up and just smile and just say rainbow for me. Rainbow.
Wait, time out.
Oh, no. Look, you're already breaking the state.
I'm having a problem. You said look at the ceiling, but I can't see the ceiling. I can't.
You can see, look straight, look wherever you need to look straight. Look towards your eyebrows then.
Okay. All right.
So she's so detailed. She's so detailed. Okay, we're going to start.
I'm like that.
We're going to start up. So we don't want to look. We want to keep our head still. So watch. I can go in, I can access a negative state. I can do this eyes closed. I can bring up all the emotions, the feelings, all of that. And I can sense where it is in my body. And then what I can do is I can take this negative emotion and breathe in and just look up at the ceiling or the wall, wherever you want it to be, and smile. And if I say like rainbow, a positive word, a different word, it's going to shift my whole physiology. And we like rainbows, don't we?
Rainbow.
Could be bliss, could be love, could be peace, could be calm. And so we bring it up here and we hold it for just a moment. And then we just break state. Another thing that we do in NLP is we break state, we shift it, okay? And then we do it again. So you go down and you try to find that negative emotion. And you're going to find the harder you try to access that negative emotion, the more difficult it's going to become. So NLP also uses a little bit of a reverse psychology. So if you go back down, the moment you feel it, you bring it right back up and smile. And you keep doing that. And it get to a point where it's going to be just so silly and funny, you're going to start laughing. And now we have a new anchor. I just took you down a new track. We're now going to Jersey instead of Manhattan. We just fired and wired a new.
Oh no, you just messed me. Can we go back the other way?
I like Jersey. What's wrong? It's the Garden State. It's the Garden State. I bet you they have ice cream trucks there, not like Alaska.
Can I say something that might actually sound blasphemous? The pizza,
Pizza.
in New Jersey
Yes.
is better than the pizza in New York City.
See, shh.
Yeah, I know.
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell.
Better Italian food.
What we had there was awesome.
In New Jersey?
No, we're by your place. We had some pizza that was awesome.
Did I take you to Joe's?
Joe's, Frank's, Dave's, any one of those single names. Yes, the pizza was great.
What I'm hearing you say is we're controlling the firing and wiring with the person we're communicating with. Essentially, we're bringing up certain images and emotions. We're watching them to see where do their eyes go and what are they thinking, feeling, seeing, knowing.
Yes. And so what you just did before you said that, your eyes went up, you immediately accessed a neural pathway, because I can tell what you're thinking by where your eyes are moving. Your eyes, they say, are windows to your soul, but your eyes are activating these accessing cues. It's activating all of the apps, like on your cell phone. You have apps on your cell phone. It's activating those, and it happens in just a millisecond. So I can get into rapport, which is the core of NLP. This is the core of communication, relationships, the money, everything that's out there, your abundance, how you're feeling. It's all about what you're in rapport with. So I can get in rapport with people very quickly by observing where their eyes go. Another technique that we use with NLP is being able to observe body language, tone of voice, what we call mirroring and matching, pacing and leading. And if I can mirror and match you, if I can subconsciously be similar to you or kind of like you, then that person's subconscious mind goes into a comfort zone and says, oh, this person's safe.
So if you were going to mirror and match me, so I would be comfortable with you, what would you do?
Number one, I'd have to match the tone of your voice and the pacing with you.
Which is what?
You have a certain speed that you talk. If I was to talk to you like this, Sandy,
I'm gone.
And we would do the whole podcast like this.
No, I'm gone. I can't. I got to order my sandwich and get out.
Really like to listen to things a little bit slower.
Most people do.
Most people, but not you.
Oh, can't stand it.
I would already lose you, right? Yeah. So if you came in and you're a client and my natural pace and speed is a little bit slower, you may not come back as a client because I'm not in rapport with you.
Right.
So I would instantly have to say, okay, well, how is she talking? How is she sitting? What's her body language? How can I copy that just a little bit? Not so much that you notice it, but just so you can be aware of it, you kind of sense it, you feel it. And I would have to match your speed, your tone, your pacing in order to keep you right here. Okay. It takes 15 seconds or less to get in rapport with people. Within 2 minutes, people make a judgment about you. And after those 2 minutes, that judgment becomes a neural pathway and that becomes set. So whether or not this person that you just meet, or you're in a group of people, maybe you're at an event, the first impression becomes your primary neural pathway. And then every time that pathway gets fired, it's going to go back to that same experience.
That's the firing and wiring you're talking about. So you're saying when you're establishing rapport with people, you must create that fire and wire for the situation if you are going to be in control using NLP. And it doesn't mean controlling the other person. It means having an agenda that's going to be best for all people involved and staying on that path.
Exactly. And it means helping you get what you want to get as soon as possible. Let me help you achieve your goals.
The red flag that came up for me when you said, I'm going to match your pace of speaking, Sandy. Immediately, I think, well, isn't that lying? Isn't that inauthentic? That's not you. So how do you overcome that? Because I will never accept, if anybody ever says to me, and I know that's not what you're suggesting, but if anybody suggested to me, Sandy, be inauthentic in any way, can't do it, won't do it. Now, again, I'm pushing buttons on purpose, right? You're a teacher and I want to learn. Which is the authentic you? Is it the one who matches my, what you call quick pace, or is it your lollygagging? Which one's the real you?
Well, the authentic me is the me that you want me to be right now.
But my
And the
heart,
me that
my
you want
heart
me
wants to
to be.
know. I'm being honest. My
Yes.
heart wants to know that if you're spending time with me, you're in your best feeling place, or else please don't be with me, because that would feel terrible to me to think that you're being not you in order to have rapport with me.
It's not that I'm not being authentic. What it means is that I'm being in sync with you because I truly, from the deepest part of my heart, want to help you get where you want to go as fast as possible. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste your money. So I'll give you another example. Okay. And this happened a long time ago. I've been doing this work for over 30 years. I had a client come in, and he was a military guy going through a difficult relationship, a big bodybuilder guy. And it was so funny. And he came in and he just was swearing the entire time in the session. And God damn, bitch, blah, 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 and F you and all of this. And, I'm trying to be the prim and proper therapist. And I'm like, what the F is going on here? I'm saying that in my mind because I'll go there.
Right.
I'm like,
I know, I've met you.
it kind of sounds like me. Wait a minute. But I'm thinking I have to be the nice, proper, therapist. And it wasn't working. We were butting heads. I'm like, well, maybe you try this. No, I don't effing like that. What am I going to do in the relationship? I got to get her back. Well, possibly we could do this. And how does it make you feel? And at the end of the session, he's like, I don't know if this stuff works. I don't know if I'm going to come back. I'll give it one more time. And I had to run out of session and go check with my mentor. And I was like this, well, effing, I'm swearing. I'm like, what the heck am I supposed to do? And he said exactly that. So what are you talking about? He goes, you are completely out of rapport with your client. And yes, you may do that naturally. That's part of your personality style. But what you showed your client in session was not you at all. And you were so against everything. You didn't match the tone of his voice. You weren't there with your body language. You were just too soft. And you lost that trust and respect with that client. So next time you go in, do a session, mirror and match, and copy him.
Yeah. You essentially
swear in the session.
You essentially gave the answer I was looking for, the one that I could land on and then breathe again, which is we all have many many fat cells. We all have many fat cells.
we got those as well. Look at that. What the heck? I found one today I didn't even know was there.
Found a new fat cell. We all have many facets to ourselves. We all have all of those things. And it was really interesting because when you were talking about the younger hypnotherapist version of yourself, you actually had been talking yourself out of being who you are, thinking you were playing the role of therapist. Point being, we all have all of the facets. So find where you're a closest match for yourself. Because if you're uncomfortable being a role that you chose to play with anyone, that discomfort is going to come through. In the same way, you've done body work, right? Haven't you done body work in your life? Yeah. And I have too. And so you learn when you learn how to do massage or touch on people that your comfort or discomfort translates through your hands to that person. They know, even if you're not using words, right? So it's that same idea. I find that unless I have 100%, not 99, but 100% comfort in who I'm being, and there are many facets to that being. I know this may come as a shock to you, Michele, but I also have slow.
When you're sleeping, yes. When you're sleeping, yes. She's being slow right now. Wow.
But if I were advising anyone, I would say 100% yes to everything you are teaching us, Michele. You've got to find whatever right facet matches. But before going there, check in. Don't play a role. It's a balance.
It is. And it's not copying that person exactly. Right. So you don't have to copy their accent and so forth. Then they're going to think I'm mimicking. Now I'm making fun of them.
Exactly.
What was so funny about the client, the military guy, is the second session he came in, And he went off again, and my effing girlfriend and blah, 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 blah. And I sit there and I was listening. And then I just did. I'm like, slam my hand on the table. I'm like, what the F are we going to do about this? He's like, yeah, I don't know. What are we going to do about it? I'm like, let's figure this shit out. Ooh, I swore. Let's figure this out. Let's get to do you want her back or not? Why do you want this girl back? And then we just had the best time.
Yeah.
And then afterwards I ran out and I talked to my mentor. I'm like, I did. I swore. He goes, good, do it again, but do it less.
Ah, there we go.
What do you mean, do it less? He goes, that's not how you need to do therapy. You don't need to swear in therapy. Do it less.
Yeah.
And do it less each time. And this is called pacing and then leading.
Can you define those?
Pacing. So I'm going to mirror and match your body language, tone of voice, eye contact, breathing, everything, how you're sitting, how you're standing. I can mirror you. I can match you. And then I can pace you, which means I can do it for a little while. Sometimes I just need a few minutes. Sometimes I need a few sessions, right? And then I can lead you where I want you to go. So if you're talking really, really fast and I want you to start slowing down a little bit, I'll talk fast with you for just a little while. And then we're going to start talking a little bit slower. And then we're going to start talking not really, really slow, but slow enough to where you're going to start breathing a little bit differently. And so I may change my voice. And what will happen is the person with you will start to mirror you.
There it is. Yeah.
Now it's the dance.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you need to change who you are. Doesn't mean you need to be like this person all the time. It just means understand that everybody has a different map of the world, a different program of how they see and hear and feel everything that's around them. And if you can get that, then your life is going to be easier. Your relationships are going to be easier. Your job is going to be easier.
And
children are going to be easier.
The mirroring that you're talking about, the rapport that you're talking about, when you become as good as somebody like you, Michele, you also then learn how to, the words you used, break state, how to do exactly the opposite to create certain effects.
Yes, yes. So if you were coming in and you were in a really, really agitated emotional state, or I had a client coming in, I'll let them be in that state for just a moment. And then I could all of a sudden just be like, hey.
Right.
So if I can change it that fast, then when people come in and say it's not possible, I'm never going to be able to let go of this. It's not going to happen for me. I won't be able to do, I can't, I should, I must, I need to, I'm supposed to, all of this. That is just a learned program.
So what are the tricks we've learned? We learned if you look up, this is news for me. I didn't know that. If you look up, say it again.
If you take a deep breath, you look up and smile, say a keyword, whatever you want it to be, bliss, fun, rainbow, butterfly. You cannot have a negative emotion up here. So if you want to get rid of your neurology, because your eye accessing cues, it won't let you. You're shifting your state. You're shifting your neurology. The eye, so the eyes are eye accessing cues that are just directly linked to the brain.
So if you're looking up,
yes, when your eyes are looking up, you're in a visual state. Okay, your eyes are moving into a visual state. When your eyes are looking sideways, you're in an auditory state. You're remembering what somebody said. Okay, you're speaking to yourself. When your eyes are looking down, you're into negative self-talk. You're also in an emotional state. So I watch where people's eyes are going, and I can communicate according to where their eyes are moving.
So if their eyes go down, that could be more of a kinesthetic state, a feeling state.
Yes. And so if I want to be in rapport with you, because that's what NLP is all about, and I notice when you're looking down a lot, I'm going to say, well, tell me how that feels. What are you sensing right now?
When you look up, there's a difference between left and right.
So when your eyes are looking up to the right, you are in a creative construction mode. You're creating new visualizations. You're creating something. If your eyes are looking up to the left, you're recalling and remembering.
A person looks up to the right, they're creating something. That could be good, but couldn't they also be creating a lie?
They could be creating a lie, but that's not 100% true. They could be creating somebody who is actually lying to you. For example, pathological liars, real liars, they're just going to look straight ahead. They're not even going to blink. because they've already formulated the story and the lie in their mind over and over and over and over again. So their eyes may not even move at all. Somebody who has actually created the lie and created the story, if they want to remember it, they're going to look up, and they're actually going to look up towards their left.
Because they're remembering the story they told themselves to remember.
If you're creating a lie in the moment and I catch you off guard, sometimes you may look up to the right. And this is just a real quick little thing that people do. But this is how you can tell somebody is making something up and not telling you the 100% truth.
If somebody's lying and they look up to the right, they're making up the lie now. If they're lying and it's something they sort of practiced, it's looking up to the left.
Yes.
Now they could be looking up
straight ahead.
But if they're looking up to the left to legitimately remember something, that's in the left side too.
But the easiest thing with NLP is observe body language. Okay, mirror and match people's body language. Sit like them, talk like them, move like them. Mirror and match their tone of voice, their pacing, the words that they're using. Okay, if they talk fast, talk a little faster than you normally do. Talk a little slower than you normally do. And then if you want to change people's state, change the emotion, use different types of anchors, use a keyword, use a deep breath. If you want to break somebody's state, say something completely different than what they're talking about right now. Have them look somewhere else, create a sound, say something funny. A really fun thing to do is actually praise a negative.
What do you mean?
Praise a negative. Oh my gosh, you know what? I have been eating so many donuts today. I don't even know what to do with it. Just say, well, good for you. You're eating so many donuts. That's awesome. Well, what do you mean? No, it's not. Well, yeah, it is. You ate a lot of donuts today. That's great. You know how to eat a lot of donuts.
It's like a...
So instead of me saying, well, shame on you, don't eat all those donuts, I actually just praised, and that confuses the mind.
Yeah, it breaks the wire.
Confuses the mind, and the neural pathways just stop because they don't know where to go. Because that's not what we're used to. We're used to having negatives. Shame on you, you should, you must, you need to, you have to, you're supposed to, you can't. Instead of, well, good for you. You're smoking, well, good for you. You learned how to smoke. Good for you. You weren't born smoking, but you learned how to do it, so you learned how to do it, and you're smoking really, really well, aren't you? And I know you learn how to smoke really well. You'll know how to stop smoking really well too, because you're really, really good at things like this. You're very goal-oriented. Yeah. So it'll change people's thoughts. So it's fun. It's a new way of thinking about communication. And it's a new way of being able to help you in your personal and professional life. What are people's programs? Everybody's programmed. They have their own computer. Everybody has their own apps, like their cell phone, their own apps in their mind. And if you can sync into that app and you can understand what that app does for them, then you're going to make people feel amazing. They're going to feel open and feel like they want to be able to make those changes. And that's what I do for a living. I'm a change agent, and NLP is just one of the tools that I use to make that very effective.
And you're one of the best in the world. I love knowing you. And now having this conversation with you about NLP, I'm just paranoid about what my eyes are doing. Michele, I'm going to put your contact info in this. This one is on all the podcast platforms and on YouTube, so you can see Michele's beautiful face and her 5'2" body. That's just the perfect size to go underneath a basketball player's legs.
I'm going to ask to see if I can join the Lakers this year. I'm going for it.
I love you, Michele.
Thank you, Sandy. You got this, rock star.
Don't forget to subscribe right now to the Rockstar Changemaking podcast. While you're at it, subscribe on the YouTube channel. Follow on Instagram. There's more different stuff in all those places. Go to sandyameshypnotherapy.com. Get the Rockstar Your Mind app. Subscribe. It's free. Maybe challenge yourself to 3 days of listening to the hypnosis to really bake in what you want to remember from today. Send it to someone you know who could really use this. This is you doing the work. You got this, Rockstar.